Hi, it's Tony McCoy from Stan James, welcome to a preview of this weekend's racing. Also, a couple of churchy notices for the racing to come. A couple of them revolving around Kieran Fallon. Kieran Fallon, it's been reported in the last couple of hours that Fallon will ride Old MacDonald for Noel Glynn in the Champion Bumper. This will be the second ride Fallon's had in the race. Back in 2005 he finished fourth on the Miss That for Willie Mullins. And when you also think that Pat Smullen, the great Pat Smullen, he will be riding Hidden Universe for Dermot Weld. That's one of the market leaders. That again, you have this sort of, these sort of stages where the flat jockey's trying to infiltrate into the Champion Bumper. Of course, Jamie Spencer won it quite controversially a few years ago. The other Fallon bit of news is that he'll ride Gitano Hernando of Marco Botti at Lingfield in his prep race on Saturday, in his prep race for the Dubai World Cup. Last time out, of course, Gitano Hernando won at Goodwood, won the Goodwood Stakes rather, but that was at Santa Anita on Pro Rides, and before that very, very progressive, both over on the flat and on the all-weather. Previously he did the clock at Wolverhampton, highly progressive horse, and he puts his Dubai World Cup credentials on the line for Marco Botti. He's a trainer going places. To Kempton, big meeting, of course, the Racing Post Chase meeting. It's a fantastic day's racing. Punjabi gets us underway, puts his back-to-back champion hurdles he'll be going for next week, all being well, fingers crossed. He should win the Open, and again the BHA and the Racing Post and everybody on the Kempton executive be applauded for putting this race on for Punjabi. And although maybe it's not ideal, he has run well over course and distance before, and Punjabi should win the opener. 2:30 the Pendle, Chase Pendle, of course, one of the great horses for Fred Winter, never won a Gold Cup. However, Tishy Polos was the one who caught my eye earlier in the week. He doesn't look as if now Ruby Walsh is jocked up to the Nightingale. Again, the Nightingale, highly thought of it to ditch it by Paul Nicholls, and if that is the case, I think he should win. He's both got, I think, Arkle and RSA Chase entries rather, but maybe this intermediate trip of 2.5 miles will be his optimum. Also Meal Chief, who was compared very favourably by Alan King. Alan King had a press day on Monday. And it was interesting that he compared this horse, Meal Chief, very favourably with both Penzance and also Catchit, of course, who went on to win a champion hurdle. But both of those, of course, for Kingy, won the Triumph hurdle in the past. And this one compared favourably, brought down on his debut at Market Raise, and very unfortunately won half the track. And since then, he hasn't impressed everybody with his jumping, but they think they've got him spot on. The one thing he would slight concern is he's never run left-handed, and in Britain, and he's run all his races so far right-handed. Maybe this Kempton again wouldn't be the ideal preparation, but Meal Chief 4-1, currently the favourite for the Triumph hurdle with Stan James. But the big race of the day is, of course, the Racing Post Chase, and we've got the entries, and it really is a fascinating. Nacarat is our 100-30 Burlington favourite, £11 higher than winning the corresponding race last year when he made all for Tony McCoy. That really was a wonderful performance. I think they'll be, in many ways, the opposition will be savvy to him. It's just whether they can lay up. They were all savvy to him in the King George, but it was only the great horse. It was only Corto Star who was on the bridle with, saying, a mile to go. As it turned out, Nacarat probably went a bit too quickly on that occasion. He's got Madison de Burley blinkered for the first time. That's fascinating. Madison de Burley, of course, won on this card last year. He beat Denman. If you remember, this is again one of these hastily arranged races, and he beat Denman. Denman, of course, was never likely to be seen to its best effect around the tight turns of Kempton. But the Racing Post Chase is one of the great races. Fistral Beach is a 5-1 shot, £4 wrong in the weight, but Ruby saying he's going to do 10 stone. Does he stay? Question mark. He just appeared maybe a doubtful stayer at Newbury, but the horse who beat him, Hey Big Spender, is a very progressive animal as well. He won over, I think, an extended 2.5 last time, Fistral Beach, and although you couldn't say that he looked better the further he went, I think Ruby will play him late. He'll have the race run to suit, and that 10 stone, and Ruby doing 10 stone for many people will be a tip in itself. Do look out as well for Kilcrea Castle, ex-Irish. That's won over 3 miles up to point, but yet to win under rules over 3 miles. And Miss Mitch, the Olners, Great trainer, Robert Olner. This Mitch, you remember, he ran at Warwick, and people thought, oh my God, he's mad, he's going to ruin his handicap mark. As it turned out, I think he finished second to Old Vic. Well, we know what Old Vic's done in the interim period, and Miss Mitch, I think that would be a popular winner, and she's a very good mare. Madison to Bell. Touch between a car, interesting, a 12-1 shot pullback. Having this his first start back for Venetia Williams. Remember, he had a sort of one of the favourites for the Hennessy or the Paddy Power early in the season, a stretch between Nacarat, when it went to Tim Vaughan. Just quickly over to the Ida. I don't think maybe it's when you think 2 years ago the Ida top weight Complier Die went on to win the Grand National. Merry-Go £5 higher than winning the corresponding race last year. We have a Scottish National winner in the field, Irish the Bomb 11-2. Do have a look if you can at the race's website. Have a quick look at Irish the Bomb's comeback run over hurdles. Mightily impressive on that. Just blew up. Eric's Charm 14-1. God knows why he's going left-handed. This horse has got to go right. Look out for him later in the year at Sandown if he gets some soft ground. Morgan B second last year in race, but has disappointed me. But we do have a nap for the weekend, and that is Mr. Syntax. Been waiting for this horse to come back for 2 miles from 2.5 miles. I know there's a good horse and possibly of Gordon Elliott in the field, but I do think Mr. Syntax for Tim Fitzgerald. But the big race of the day is the Racing Post Trophy. Racing Post Chase rather, at Kempton Park on Saturday. Nacarat won it last year, beautiful grey, a bit like Desi, of course, Desi who made Kempton Park his own, winning 3 King Georges, but can Nacarat win back-to-back Racing Post Chases? Tony McCoy in the place, £11 higher than last year, but he's the one they got to beat. Be lucky.